Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about having Leo on the 5th house cusp in a natal chart. Now, in astrology, the 5th house governs romance, love, creative endeavors, hobbies, children, amusement, and speculation. The sign on the cusp of the 5th house can give characteristics to the house. Now, if the person has any planets that inhabit the 5th house, well, this can flavor the house. What's also important to look at is to see where the ruler, the planetary ruler of the house is located, such as the ruler of the 5th being in the 6th house, for example, because this can indicate the area or sector of life that the 5th house energy is injected into. Now, transits and progressions are also significant and important, especially if the person has an empty or vacant 5th house, and this will signify often greater activity in matters pertaining to the 5th house. Now, as far as Leo on the 5th house goes, well, Leo on the cusp of the 5th, this could show certain, we could say, perhaps being flamboyant, maybe pride, dignity, being dignified in their creative endeavors. This could be somebody that maybe desires strong accolades, recognition for what they do in terms of creativity, even their hobbies. This person, say this person, because this is things of enjoyment and amusement as well. This person is into sports, for example, and they're playing on a recreational level and then supposedly for fun. This person may take so much pride in this that they may even feel worse than the average person if they lose something that's in connection with this, such as a sports competition, say playing basketball or football with friends. And this could be somebody that can really let it hit their ego pretty strong, so to speak, because this is Leo on the cusp of the 5th house. Now, the 5th house also governs children, and this could be somebody that could be very magnanimous and generous with their children, a person that shows a lot of loyalty, persistence, being steadfast with their children, somebody that takes pride in their children, if applicable, if the person has children, that is. And it could indicate that the children themselves may exhibit some of these qualities or characteristics themselves, such as being generous or magnanimous and attention-seeking, being magnanimous, philanthropic, for example. This could be children that may seek praise, attention, recognition. This could be a person that enjoys doing things that may receive some kind of notoriety or attention. And as many of you know, as you can see right here, that I do these videos on YouTube. Now, I would be lying to you if I didn't like the exposure or attention to some degree. This is something that I enjoy doing, but I get certain notoriety and exposure for it, and maybe that has a little bit to do with why I do this. Now, there are many other reasons, or at least a number of other reasons why I do these videos, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't like getting certain attention for doing that, and I think that might have something to do with me having Leo on the cusp of the 5th house. Now, the 5th house also governs romance, and this person can be very, as far as their love goes, very loyal and dedicated, to say the least. They can take these matters with love, with a lot of pride, with a lot of dignity. Somebody that's willing to show fortitude in matters connected with love, with courage, fearlessness. This person can show a lot of passion in these matters. This could be somebody on the negative side. Leo can be a domineering side, so the person may have to remember to try to maybe curtail maybe that need to dominate, perhaps a romantic partner, and even things connected with children as well as this person may show unbridled loyalty and dedication in these matters. At the same time, this person might be a little bit more domineering and on a real negative side in some isolated cases, perhaps even overbearing in certain instances in these matters. So that is something to look at as far as having Leo on the cusp of the fifth house goes. Now, another thing to look at as far as the fifth house goes, the fifth house governs creative endeavors, and these things could be tied in perhaps in some cases to acting, to being on being some center stage, perhaps to some degree. I've done some videos on YouTube that show some creativity and getting some, I guess you could say, attention for that and exposure, if you will. As far as creative endeavors, another example could be just a general performer on stage, even someone that works as an illusionist or magician in some cases, I think, because this is somebody that can apply their creativity, but being on stage and getting the recognition and perhaps some accolades for what they do, and that's kind of what I see as far as having Leo on the cusp of the fifth house, as far as that goes. And we look at the fifth house, and also governs speculation. Now, this could be someone that might be somewhat extravagant in matters connected with speculation, and may be a little foolhardy from time to time, or put a little bit more money into investments than perhaps what is needed. And even, I mean, I have Taurus rising, so if somebody has Taurus rising and Aries on the, Leo on the cusp of the fifth house, obviously this person may be a little bit more judicious and prudent regarding these matters. Now, if somebody were to say have Aries rising and have Leo on the cusp of the fifth, this could indicate an even more stronger ability to be somewhat impulsive or impetuous regarding risk-taking ventures, such as perhaps investing in some kind of stocks, regarding speculation. Perhaps this person may be interested in stocks that are somehow associated with entertainment, movies, for example, as this is connected with the zodiac sign Leo. So those are some things to consider as far as having Leo on the cusp of the fifth house in a natal chart. And anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for having Leo on the cusp of the fifth house in the natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about having Virgo on the cusp of the fifth house in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel, but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.